Palatine Complex. So first we have the Casa Romuli, which was Romulus's house. It was located near the Palatine Hill, or the on the Scalae Caci, or the Steps of Caucasus. Um, it's often depicted as a small hut with a straw roof, as shown in the images to the right, with the clay rendition and the drawing. And it's a traditional peasant's hut, so it's a very small hut with one room, not too large or too braggadocious, so to speak. The Casa Romuli was often destroyed by disasters, such as fires or storms, but on every occasion it was restored to its original state, which kind of shows how much it meant to Rome and to the Roman history and people. A second Casa Romuli was also recorded. It was said to rest on the Capitoline Hill, but this was most likely a replica and not the actual original, which was on the Palatine Hill. And we know this because of recordings. So the hut itself is no longer exists, but there have been foundations discovered at the Palatine Hill, which are estimated to be the foundations of the Casa Romuli due to the materials that were used, which date back to the same time period in which Romulus was recorded to be living in Italy. So the hut meant a lot to the Roman people, as I've already stated. It didn't really matter whether the Capitoline Hill one or the Palatine Hill one was the original, and it didn't matter how many times they rebuilt it, as like the original materials of the hut were no longer used, but it's because the hut represented the birth of Rome and the home of Rome's founder. Um, so Augustus recognized the importance of this hut, and he did his best to maintain the hut, because if he disrespected it, or if he didn't try to preserve it, it would be seen as disrespecting Roman history, and this wouldn't be he wouldn't be worthy to be emperor of Rome. Next, we have the Domus Augusti, which is the House of Augustus. This is the first major site when entering the Palatine Hill. It's located near the Casa Romuli. So the site consists of roughly four main structures: the Caratoni House, the Peristyle A, which are the private quarters of the site, the Peristyle B, which would be the public spaces in the Domus, and then the Temple of Apollo Palatinus, which is a little further out, but that's probably the biggest and most important site on the Domus Augusti. One of the main things that is part of the House of Augustus are the frescoes, which decorate countless walls. So one of their main they depicted many scenes, and one of the main uh, important aspects of these frescoes were not the images themselves, but the actual colors and how vibrant they appeared. For example, on top, there's a two-story architectural facade, which is depicted, which has bright blues, dark, vibrant reds, and yellow that almost pops. And on the bottom, this is the room of the pine festoon. And again, you can see the red, the yellow, and the green, which are all vibrant colors compared to the tan wall. Finally, we have the Temple of Apollo Palatinus, which is located on the Palatine Hill, and it's near the Temple of Cybele. It's the second temple in Rome dedicated to Apollo, the Temple of Apollo Socianus, but it is easily the most important and the largest. So many decorations accompany the temple. The doors were decorated with ivory reliefs, such as the Rescue of Delphi and the Story of the Niobites. The statue of Apollo, which is a very large statue, one of many statues in the complex. But there's four oxen surrounding the statue, which is a motif that's found throughout Roman culture. You have the chariot of the sun on the roof of the temple, and then in the cella you have statues of Apollo, his sister Diana, and his mother Latona. So outside there's the statues of the 50 Danaids, which are the daughters of Danaus. They are located in the portico surrounding the temple, and there's also a sculpture of Danaus with his sword unsheathed, and the sons of Egypt, which kidnapped the Danaids and married them, but then the Danaids killed them in their sleep. Apollo held a big place in Augustus' heart, so to speak. He was his patron god, and a patron god is a deity who acts as his protector. Um, Augustus claimed a very special connection to Apollo, which is why he would build the largest temple to the god. He also increased the god's importance in Roman culture and religion. He made him a central role in the religion of Rome, and then he created stories of Apollo helping Augustus in battle against the Egyptians and Cleopatra and such. So Augustus definitely valued Apollo in his life, and that reflected in his rule of Rome and the culture that he spread. Thank you.